The Election Fire, Part 1. The Peace Before the Storm. The night was too quiet. Not the peaceful kind of quiet, the dangerous kind. The kind that makes dogs stop barking. The kind that makes even the wind hold its breath. Then suddenly, a phone vibrated. Soft, but loud enough to change everything. Morning in Bokos. The sun rose slowly over the hills of Bokos, Plateau State. Golden light spread across the farmlands like warm oil, touching the green crops, the mud houses, the narrow, dusty roads. Roosters crowed, goats bleated, women's voices floated through the air. "Zainab, bring that water jerrycan." "I'm coming, Mama." At the village market, life was already in motion. Tomatoes, peppers, onions, grains. Voices layered over each other like music. "Madam Blessing, come now, my tomatoes fresh today." A woman in a bright wrapper laughed as she walked towards him. "Sani, you always say your tomatoes are the best. Last week, they spoiled in 2 days, oh." Sani placed his hand on his chest dramatically. "Wallahi, not this one. Taste and see. If it spoils, I will refund your money." She smirked. "You refund money? I want to see that day." They both laughed. Nearby, children ran barefoot, chasing a worn-out football. "Pass, pass." "No, I will score." The ball hit a wooden store. Thud. "Ah, you children, one day you will break somebody's head." The boys froze, then burst into laughter and ran again. Under a mango tree, 2 men sat on a wooden bench. One wore a small cap. The other wore a cross around his neck. They shared roasted corn. "Election is coming again," the man with the cap said, chewing slowly. The other nodded. Every 4 years, same promises." The first man chuckled. "This time they said they will fix the road." The second man laughed loudly. "Which road? This one?" He pointed at the dusty, broken path. "Even president will need permission to pass here during rainy season." Then silence. The man with the cap spoke softly. "You think things will be peaceful this time?" The other man didn't answer immediately. He stared into the distance. Finally, he said quietly, "It depends on what they want." Far from the village, in Jos Town, inside a small rented room, a young man sat on his bed, staring at his phone. His name was Sadiq. Ring light, cheap tripod, second-hand smartphone. That was his studio. He adjusted the camera and hit record. His voice changed instantly, confident, energetic. "Guys, welcome back to my page. Today I'm going to talk about what is really happening in our country." He paused, then smiled. No filter, no lies. He ended the recording and sighed deeply. His shoulders dropped. The energy disappeared. He looked around the room. Peeling paint, half-broken fan, empty plate on the floor. His younger sister's voice echoed from outside the curtain. "Brother, are you done? Mama said we should manage the remaining food." Sadiq swallowed. "Give me 5 minutes." That night, Sadiq lay on his bed scrolling through his phone. Notifications, likes, comments, but not enough. He sighed. God, when will it blow? Ping! A message, unknown number. He frowned and opened it. We have been watching your content. You have potential. He sat up. Another message came in. We want to work with you. His heart started beating faster. He typed quickly. Who is this? Typing. A media team, political campaign, serious work, serious money. Sadiq froze. He whispered to himself, political? Another message. We will pay you in hundreds of thousands per post, possibly millions if engagement is high. Silence filled the room. He looked at the cracked ceiling, then at his empty plate, then at his phone. How much exactly? 2 days later, a black SUV stopped in front of a quiet building in Jos. Sadiq stepped out slowly, adjusting his shirt nervously. Inside, the air conditioning hit his face. Cold, clean, expensive. A man in a suit sat behind a table, smiling. Ah, Sadiq, the rising star. Sadiq forced a smile. Sir, thank you for calling me. The man gestured for him to sit. Let's not waste time. We like your voice. People listen to you. Sadiq nodded. The man leaned forward slightly. We want you to tell stories, emotional ones. Sadiq frowned slightly. What kind of stories? The man smiled, but this time it didn't feel friendly. The kind that makes people react. Silence. Then, we will send you content. You post. That's all. Sadiq hesitated. Is it true information? The man leaned back and laughed softly. My friend, in politics, truth is what people believe. That sentence hung in the air. Heavy, uncomfortable. Then the man slid an envelope across the table. Sadiq opened it slightly. His eyes widened. Bundles of naira notes. Real. Thick. More money than he had ever seen at once. The man spoke calmly. This is just the beginning. Evening settled in Bokos. Smoke rose from cooking fires. Children returned home. The call to prayer echoed faintly in the distance. Church bells rang from another part of the village. Different sounds, same peace. Zainab sat outside with her friend, Grace. They laughed as they shared groundnuts. You will marry before me, Grace teased. Zainab rolled her eyes. Please go away. I want to go to school first. Grace laughed. In this village, you better marry first before school runs away. They both burst into laughter. Then suddenly, Grace's mother shouted from inside. Grace, come inside. It's getting dark. Grace stood up. Tomorrow we continue this gist. Zainab nodded. Don't forget, oh. Grace smiled and walked away. Zainab watched her go, not knowing that life as they knew it was about to end. Back in Jos, Sadiq sat in front of his camera again. But this time, his hands were shaking. On his phone was a script sent by the political team. He read it again and again. His lips moved silently. This will cause trouble. His phone buzzed. A message. Post it now. Timing is important. Another message followed. This is your first real job. Don't disappoint us. Sadiq closed his eyes. Then slowly, he pressed record. His voice came out steady, but something inside him wasn't. Good evening, everyone. He paused, swallowed, then continued. I don't usually talk about religion, but what happened in Bokos today is very disturbing. In the quiet village, phones began to vibrate, one by one. Inside houses, in compounds, at the market. Messages, videos, angry words. Zainab picked up her father's phone. She frowned. Baba, what is this? Her father grabbed the phone. His face changed instantly. What nonsense is this? He muttered under his breath. Outside, voices began to rise. Confused, angry, fearful. And far away in Jos, Sadiq stared at his screen, watching the views climb. 1,000, 5,000, 20,000, 50,000. His breathing became heavy. Then a comment popped up. They will pay for this. We are ready. Sadiq's smile slowly faded. And for the first time, he realized this was no longer just content. The message spread faster than truth ever could. Not like a rumor, like fire poured on dry grass. Scene 1, the first wave. Phones buzzed across Bokos village. Inside houses, in compounds, at roadside kiosks, everywhere. Bzzzt, bzzzt, bzzzt. Zainab's father stood in the middle of the compound, staring at his phone. His brows tightened. What is this nonsense? He muttered under his breath. Zainab moved closer. Baba, what happened? He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he turned the screen towards her. A video. Sadiq's video. Zainab watched silently. Her eyes widened. No, this can't be true. From the next compound, voices rose. Did you see it? I just watched it now. They insulted us openly. Wallahi, this is too much. Zainab's father exhaled sharply. Who recorded this? Nobody answered, because nobody knew. Near the mosque, a group of young men gathered, phones in their hands, faces tense. One of them, Kabiru, paced back and forth. You people are still calm, he snapped, after what they said. Another young man shook his head. But who said it? Did we confirm it? Kabiru stopped. His voice dropped, dangerous. So you think it is a lie? I didn't say that. Then what are you saying? You want us to sit down while they insult our religion? A third man stepped in. Calm down. Let us hear from the elders first. Kabiru scoffed. Elders. By the time elders finish talking, we will already be weak. He raised his phone. Look at the comments. People are already reacting. Other villages are angry. Silence fell for a moment. Then someone muttered, if we don't act, they will think we are afraid. At the other end of the village, inside a small church building, a group of women sat together, whispering anxiously. Grace rushed in, breathing fast. Mama, have you seen what they are saying online? Her mother looked up. What are they saying again? Grace held out her phone. They are accusing us of insulting them. They are saying we started something. A man sitting nearby frowned deeply. This is serious. Another woman shook her head. But we didn't do anything. Minutes later, a new message arrived. Another script. Stronger, more emotional, more dangerous. Sadiq read it. His chest tightened. This one is too much, he whispered. His phone buzzed again. Post it now. He stood up, pacing the room. No, this will cause problem. Another message came. Do you want to continue working with us or not? Silence. He looked at the envelope of money on the table, then at his cracked wall, then at his phone. Slowly, he sat down, pressed record. His voice was lower this time. He leaned closer to the camera. People of Plateau, this is no longer a rumor. He paused. This is a warning. His eyes hardened slightly. If we keep quiet now, tomorrow will be too late. He ended the recording, and just like that, the fire grew. Back in Bokos, voices were no longer calm. They were loud, sharp, fearful. At the market, Sani quickly packed his tomatoes. Close your shop, he told Madame Blessing. She looked confused. Why? Something is happening, he said urgently. I don't understand it fully, but it's not safe. She frowned. But we have not done anything. Sani lowered his voice. This is not about what we did. It's about what people believe we did. That sentence hit her like a slap. Near the main road, two groups stood facing each other. Distance between them. Tension thick like smoke. Kabiru stepped forward, his voice loud. So you people think we are fools? A man from the other side responded. What are you talking about? We did nothing. You insulted us, Kabiru shouted. Who insulted you? Show me the person. Phones were raised, videos shown. Arguments exploded. You see, this is your people. This video is not from here. Don't lie. You are lying. The shouting grew louder. People gathered. Women pulled their children back. Come inside, Zainab's mother shouted, dragging her by the arm. But Mama, I said come inside. Then a stone flew. Nobody knew who threw it. It hit someone. Thud. A man staggered. Silence for half a second. Then chaos. Hey! Who threw that? Attack! Panic exploded. People ran, shouting, pushing, falling. More stones flew. Someone screamed, Run! Zainab and her mother rushed into their house. Her father slammed the door. Stay inside, he ordered. Outside, noise, running footsteps, angry voices, distant screams. Zainab's breathing became fast. Baba, what is happening? She whispered. Her father didn't answer because he didn't know. Back in Jos, Sadiq watched a new video. Shaky footage, people running, shouting, stones flying. He froze. No. He replayed it. His voice trembled. No, this is not supposed to happen. His phone buzzed. A message from the political team. Excellent engagement. Keep pushing. Sadiq dropped the phone slowly. His lips moved. This is not engagement. This is violence. Night fell over Bokos, but nobody slept. Fires burned in the distance, small but growing. Inside her room, Zainab whispered, Baba, will it stop? Her father sat in silence, then finally said, I don't know. Far away in Jos, Sadiq stared at his reflection in the dark screen, and for the first time, he didn't recognize himself. There is a moment in every conflict, a moment where shouting stops being just noise and becomes something else, something final, something that cannot be undone. That moment came before dawn. The village of Bokos was no longer quiet. The night carried sounds it had never known before. Footsteps running, distant shouting, cries swallowed by darkness. Inside Zainab's house, no one slept. Her mother sat on the floor, whispering prayers under her breath. Ya Allah, protect us, protect us. Zainab lay beside her, eyes wide open. Baba, she whispered. Her father sat near the door, holding a wooden stick tightly. Yes. Are they coming here? He didn't answer immediately. He listened. Every sound outside felt closer than it really was. Finally, he said softly, As long as I am here, nothing will happen. But his voice was not steady. Far across the village, a small house stood alone at the edge of a compound. Inside, an elderly man tried to shut his window. Then, a shout outside. Come out! He froze. Another voice. Bring him out! His hands trembled. What is happening? He whispered. Then, something hit the roof. Thud. Then another. Then, fire. The roof caught slowly at first, then faster. The old man screamed, Help! Somebody help me! But the night did not answer. Scene 3. News spreads like shockwave. Before sunrise, the news had already reached every corner of the village. They burned a house. Someone died. 2 people were attacked. At the mosque compound, Kabiru stood among a growing crowd. His face was tense, but his voice loud. You see, they have started. A man shook his head. But nobody knows who started it. Kabiru snapped. Does it matter now? Blood has been spilled. Another man raised his hand. We need to calm down. Calm down? After they attacked us? Kabiru roared. The crowd began to murmur, anger rising, fear turning into something else, something dangerous. Inside the church, people gathered early, not for worship, for safety. Grace clung to her mother's wrapper. Mama, are they going to kill us? She whispered. Her mother's eyes were already filled with fear. No, nothing will happen. But her voice betrayed her. The pastor stood at the front, his face serious. My people, listen to me. The murmuring reduced. We must not panic. We must not act in anger. Imyoman stood up suddenly. But they have already attacked. Another voice joined. They are planning more. The pastor raised his voice. Enough. Silence fell. He continued, slower now. If we fight, we lose everything. Our youths are not around to defend us. But even as he spoke, fear was already winning. Back in Jos, Sadiq sat frozen. A video played on his phone. Flames. People crying. A Mexican crying. They burned his house. He is inside. Sadiq's breathing became heavy. No, no, no. He replayed the video again, then coming a wounded man, blood on his shirt. Sadiq stood up suddenly. This is not what I signed for. His phone rang, the same knew about. He answered immediately. Sir, people are dying. The voice on the other end was calm. Relax. Relax? Have you seen what is happening? Sadiq's voice broke. Yes, the book's the den. Then? And it is effective. Sadiq felt something snap inside him. Effective? He whispered. These are human beings. The one's tone hardened slightly. Do you want to be emotional, or do you want to succeed? That question hit Vec any subscription. Sadiq's voice dropped. I didn't know it would go this far. The reply came cold. That is why you are not in charge. Back in the village, Zainab's house shook with a sudden knock. Bang, bang, bang! Everyone jumped. Who is that? Her father shouted. A voice cried from outside. It's me! Open, please! Her father rushed to the door and opened it quickly. It was Sani. But he was not the same. His clothes were torn, his face covered in dust and fear. Sani, what happened? Zainab's father asked. Sani staggered inside. They attacked near the market, he said breathlessly. Who attacked? Zainab's mother asked. I don't even know anymore, Sani replied, shaking his head. Zainab stepped forward slowly. Madam Blessing, where is she? Sani froze. Silence filled the room. His eyes dropped. Zainab's heart began to pound. Sani, where is she? His voice came out low. She didn't make it. Zainab gasped. Her mother covered her mouth. No, no. Sani sat down heavily. I tried. We tried to run, but... His voice broke. I couldn't save her. The village was no longer divided by belief. It was divided by fear. Roads were empty. Shops closed. Smoke rose in the distance. People no longer asked, what happened? They only asked, who is next? Back in his room, Sadiq sat on the floor, the money envelope in front of him. He stared at it like it was poison. His voice trembled. This money is blood. His sister stepped in quietly. Brother, are you okay? He quickly wiped his face. Yes, I'm fine. She looked at him carefully. You don't look fine. He forced a smile. I said I'm fine. But his eyes were not. As night fell again, a new message arrived on Sadiq's phone. He hesitated before opening it. Then he did. It read, Next phase starts tomorrow. Bigger impact. Be ready. Attached was a new script. Stronger, more dangerous, more explosive than anything before. Sadiq stared at it, his hands shaking. Outside his window, the city was calm. But in Bokos, people were still running, still crying, still dying. Sadiq whispered, If I post this, it will get worse. He looked at the money, then at the script, then at his reflection. And for the first time, he asked himself the question he had been avoiding. Am I the one doing this? All right, now we enter the most dangerous phase. This is where the crisis stops being random and starts becoming organized. Fear hardens into decisions, rumors turn into plans, and people begin to cross lines they can never return from.